Good afternoon, everyone. How we doing? Enjoying yourselves? Raja, great to see you. Great to have you.
Great, thank you very much.
So, how's CES going for you?
Actually, it's pretty good. The queues for taxis were shorter, which was really welcome thing. There was availability of vegan food. So from Maslow's hierarchy point of view, the basics have been beautifully taken care of. From a content point of view, I have been only on the floors yesterday, and what I have seen, some of those concepts were very interesting. So far it's been very productive.
Good. So far, so good. Only getting better.
Only getting better.
So, you've been at Mastercard for just over 11 years.
Just under 11 years.
What's been your favorite thing about working there? And what are some of the things that you're most proud of in your tenure?
See, actually, when I came to Mastercard, at the time the CEO of the company was a gentleman called Rajammanar. And he has now become the president of the World Bank. An extraordinary human being and an amazing professional. And I worked with him before in Citibank for about 15 years. So he said, Rajammanar, come over. And then I came in and joined him. At that time, the conversation that we had was just like shooting in the breeze, so to speak, philosophically we were discussing. And we said that Mastercard has the largest corporate philanthropy in the world, right? And it's called Mastercard Foundation. And at that time, it had about $20 billion or so in assets and so on. And so he said, so we have done that. We got a very effective CSR program. What else do you think we should be doing, or we could be doing? And so we started building off of each other's conversation. And we eventually said that, you know what? I don't think you can compartmentalize the good thing that you can do for the society into foundations and CSR. It has to be a core of your business. If the core of the business is connected to the good that you're doing to the society, you as a company will do far better than otherwise. So in other words, by doing good, you do well. As a probably political soundbite, it was very interesting and attractive. But how do you translate this to reality and how to live that reality? And that's the journey we embarked on. And since then, the last, I would say, 10.5 years that I've been in the company, the journey that we have taken was fascinating. Like, we started saying, okay, what will we do? Let's try to cure cancer. So we partnered with Stand Up to Cancer Foundation. We raised funds through running programs on the Mastercard business, saying that you use your card more and then incremental profit, we get part of it, we'll give it to Stand Up to Cancer Foundation. Work with them closely and work towards finding cures for cancer. It takes 12 years for one drug molecule to be discovered, all the way to get to FDA approval. We already have 8 drugs that have come out of this program. Now, and through very extraordinary methodologies. We went to World Food Program and we said we'll cure hunger to some extent. So we feed about 100 million meals. We said we will plant trees in the world. And when you make a commitment publicly, you get even more committed investment in it. So we mentioned that we'll plant 100 million trees. We are doing that. Small businesses, we said we'll bring in 500 million people who don't have access to the financial system into the financial system and so on. And each one of these, we are hitting the ball out of the park in terms of results. And so it is not just the business, which by the way has done very well. And I was told that today is our all-time highest stock price today, which is a good thing. But more importantly, the stuff that has happened in the industry, in the world, with Mastercard and what we have done, I feel very good about it.
Very impressive accomplishments. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, staying on topic slightly, the impact of AI in 2023 was unbelievably impactful. What are some of the most impactful ways that you've incorporated AI into your operations?
See, firstly, we used to use AI and we have been using it for the last 10 years. And obviously, when people now talk about AI, the reference is more to Gen AI. So Gen AI, we already started incorporating it into various programs. And AI in total across practically everything in the marketing value chain, all the way from insights to measurement, which is the entire starting from the entire funnel. We have created a digital marketing engine which is AI based. We have got an RFP factory. So in a B2B marketing context, we got a factory. We call it an RFP factory. So when we get a RFP from, say, Citibank or any other bank, how do you respond to it? It used to take us about 7 weeks. Now it takes about 4 hours. And so stuff like that we have started deploying AI for, and it's been fantastic. And at a personal level, I was sharing today morning at another panel that I have set up my own AI studio, and I'm spending all my weekends are going into learning about AI and figuring out and playing with it. And I think to begin with, I'm a nerd, and now this is like giving it the ultimate tool to play with and come up with the creative ideas or do the kind of research that can be done. It's unbelievable. And I think AI, Gen AI particularly, we are just seeing the scratching the surface right now. Very excited about it.
I agree. So as that AI technology continues to evolve, as a marketer, how does that role change? How do you make sure that you're staying top of mind with the strategies and everything that is being enhanced through the technology to make sure that you're maximizing the use of it?
In fact, I have written a whole book on it called Quantum Marketing. So that's a plug for my book. If you haven't read it, please read it. Thank you very much for those of you who read it. I appreciate it. Basically, I think marketing is going to be enabled and empowered by all the technologies, including AI, augmented reality. People say that metaverse is dead. I don't believe metaverse is dead. Metaverse has its own role. Then you got blockchains, you got Internet of Things, the whole wearables. This whole space is going to be exploding thanks to technology. One of the key things you need to, as a marketer, is to stay on top of what is happening and what is coming. One of the reasons why I'm here at CES is to first-hand see all the kinds of new things that are coming out. Second day, you need to spend time to educate yourself. One part of it is to say, there is some new device which has come, good. The other thing is to understand what is driving it. Does it have any implication to my business? What can I do about it? That would be profound, right? And you need to educate, you need to spend time. And if you look at something like AI, today any vendor that comes, that says my solution is AI powered. Now, I actually asked them, because I did a certification course on AI, I said, okay, yours is powered by AI. Explain to me exactly how. They don't know. Then they say, we'll call our technology people. Then the technology people will come. And eventually what they're talking about is not a true claim. And even if it is true, the algorithms that they have got might be garbage in, garbage out, or good stuff in, but garbage out. Because the algorithms simply start working. So from those kind of contexts, what I find is learning is something which is very important. And personally, I spend 5.5 hours, 5 to 5.5 hours every single weekend trying to learn about something new. And I encourage my team to do exactly the same thing. We started a book club. I invite various reputed experts in different fields. We have got a monthly session on behavioral economics that my entire team goes through, and so on and so forth. So each one of these areas, what we are trying to do is to equip ourselves with knowledge first, and then try to have internal innovation challenges to seek out good ideas. And once the idea is good, go and roll it out into the marketplace pretty quickly. If it fails, it fails. We will learn something, but the key thing is to experiment and get on very quickly.
Appreciate that insight. I'm aligned with a lot of that. I guess this week I've heard a ton of discussion about all the benefits of AI. Obviously, that's vast. What are some of the challenges, and what are the things that we need to be mindful of as it pertains to AI as marketers and as workers in this world that could be problematic?
Yeah, only Rajammanar is still here. Like he was mentioning, I think the level of bias and the non-inclusiveness, the non-representation is one thing you got to be worried about. It is right now because the data sources on which most of the engines are trained though are not really as widely diverse and as inclusive. What you get is a perpetuation of existing biases, which is number one. The second thing is, of course, is the ability to fake things. Misinformation, disinformation, and faking things, the deep fakes, it's very scary. Very, very, very scary. And third, I actually read about it just the day before yesterday, and I don't know if it is true and what. There are a lot of apps which say that you can age, you can become young, your photo, you feed it and it will recognize your picture and it will age you and de-age you and all that stuff. Well, apparently there are a lot of companies which are actually giving that to you and then they take all your biometric data. Your identity is lost for good, and I don't know how do you even recover from something like that. That's a huge concern. The other thing is in terms of, people say that you don't lose your job to AI, but you lose your job to somebody who is using AI. That's a correct point. But on the other hand, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and we are already seeing a lot of people lose their jobs. So when you think from a societal point of view, how do we provide for these people? Because today they are in a white-collar job. I know, for example, there was one company which said that in the area of creative writing, they have literally decimated the number of people they're hiring. Literally by a factor of 10, they have reduced apparently. They were saying it with a lot of pride, just trying to demonstrate the cost effectiveness of their operations. But that's so scary. If you're one of those writers, what will you do next? Societally, what will happen? And that's a huge concern. Is one other thing. Then in terms of things like organized crime. Organized crime can be so big, and AI will give you creative ways to perpetuate those crimes. And while they're putting some filters and all, you can easily beat past those prompts as I understand. So I think there are a lot of risks which are there as well. But I will not hold the progress back because of the risks. But I think the government has to step in, the private companies who are in this field have to step up and say we have to collectively own this thing and solve it for the world.
Absolutely. So pivoting slightly, tell us a little bit more about how the Mastercard brand has evolved over the last year. What type of themes will we be seeing in the upcoming months?
See, I think our strategy has remained steadfast for the last 10 years. The tactics have been evolving based on new technologies and new stuff that is happening in the environment. And last year, therefore, was for us progressing along the same direction. So, for example, what are some of the pillars? We have got multi-sensory marketing, so leveraging all the 5 senses. In addition to the sense of sight and sound, to understand even those 2 senses in a very scientific fashion on the one hand, and also to leverage the other 3 senses that we don't use as marketers, the sense of taste, the sense of touch, and the sense of smell. And we are actually experimenting a lot with multi-sensory marketing, which is giving us actually fantastic momentum, and I'm really delighted about it. We are now having 6 restaurants, and they'll be expanding constantly. We have launched a fragrance. We have launched a film, maybe for us today, for blind people called Touch, out of Australia, with award-winning director and cast of members. So this is the world's first feature-length film, which does not have any visuals. It's all based on sound. And the initial feedback that we're getting is absolutely stunningly positive. A lot of these are a little unconventional and difficult for people to connect the dots between what the hell has a film like this got to do with Mastercard, the company, or Mastercard, the business. The reality is there's a profound connection. And those connections cannot be necessarily measured through the standard market research and standard ROI methodologies. You need to evolve the methodologies. Thanks to AI and thanks to the extent of computing power that is there, you can do a ton of stuff in real time and measure those not so obvious linkages and drivers very effectively. So that has been our journey, and multi-sensory marketing is at the core of everything that we are doing.
Sounds very interesting. Touch sounds awesome. Love to experience that one time when it comes to the US. I guess with an initiative like that, how you touched on measurement, how do you measure the impact that can drive?
See, if you look at any initiative that marketing does, has 3 pillars to it. Is it strengthening, growing, nurturing, or protecting my brand? So the first pillar is about the brand. And have some brand metrics. Is my brand more respected? Is it more loved? Is it more liked? Is it more seen as a company with a heart or a brand with a heart? brand with a purpose, all those are very, very important. The second thing, does it drive my business? In this case, for example, one of our biggest prospects and also a good client of ours, Westpac, they loved it. They jumped on board, and now we are doing it together. There itself we have won some business. There is a direct correlation to the business, right? Growth. It's the growth of business, holding on to your business for retention, or increasing the margins for your business, whatever. The third pillar is all about setting a competitive advantage for your company. Does this give me an advantage compared to my competitors? My competitors these days are not just payment companies. Everyone, whoever touches money, and who does not touch money, right? So the point is, there is a lot of competition that we have got, and does it give me some legs to stand on? Does it build a moat around the company? That becomes difficult for somebody to catch up with me. So we look at it through all these three pillars. For each pillar, we got KPIs. We have acquired 5 data analytics companies for their sophistication in how they analyze data. And we have evolved a lot of proprietary methodologies by which we measure the metrics, the track the metrics, but equally importantly, to connect the dots between marketing actions and business outcomes. And that's the journey we are on.
I appreciate that overview. Generally speaking, as we roll into 2024, what do you think some of the biggest opportunities lies and what are some of the biggest challenges?
So the biggest opportunities for me are these, at least 3 technologies, I would say. Gen AI and AI in total. Second will be for me augmented reality as the devices are now getting available. The third one, I would say, it's a toss-up between Internet of Things or wearables, where every device that you wear or is at your home is getting connected. And a connected device is a device for commerce. And a device for commerce is also a device for marketing. It's going to be profoundly changing the landscape. And it's pretty fascinating. I don't know how many of you have used or are using connected toothbrush. I've been using 2. Actually, both Philips Sonicare as well as Oral-B are connected coffee machines, connected dishwashers, connected everything, literally. It's fascinating. I think that's I would say, in that part, it's all the kinds of variables which are coming and quantified self and all that stuff. So these are the areas which I think are going to be profoundly impacting 2024. The bigger positive is opportunities. The challenge for me is talent. Talent is very difficult to good talent is very difficult to get and difficult to keep. And you want some talent who are not skilled in the skills of technology or data, but they are fabulous. How do you cross-train them? Make sure they are also programmed for success for today and tomorrow. This is the biggest challenge that companies have, and I have to.
That makes sense. I guess that said, we can open up to the floor for some Q&A if anybody has any questions.
Hi, Raja.
Hello.
Good to see you again. Great discussion. So you talked about the brand extensions that Mastercard's been doing around priceless brand experiences that you're creating for your cardholders and consumers. What's the next level? What's the next pie in the sky need? You talked about the restaurant experiences, the fragrances, etc. What's the next kind of pie in the sky, next phase of the evolution of creative of experience?
So we got a long pipeline of things we are piloting, right? And depending on how these results come out, we will scale them up, or we will sort of shut them down and get some learnings and adapt them or whatever and move on. For me, I would say that we are just at the beginning of journey on the multi-sensory marketing. That is going to continue to advance pretty significantly and rapidly. The second area I would say is in terms of new ways of doing marketing itself. Right, so 10 years back we said, we will not be focused on advertising or direct mail or above the line or below the line communication. That's a traditional way. We'll move away to experiential marketing quite significantly. And a lot of people had heart attack that I had moved 70% of our budgets away from traditional marketing into experiences. And what that happened today, that has propelled us and given us a significant advantage where we are now a top 10 brand in the world. We have been growing pretty rapidly compared to many of our competitors, if not all of the competitors. The journey has been it's been validated. We have some concepts right now in terms of how marketing should be done in future. I have left some hints in my book, and of course, not so evident or obvious that anyone can sort of replicate it and beat us to our own game, but we got some exciting concepts coming down the pike of a completely different way of doing marketing, not the way we do today.
You talked about IoT, and I'm curious specifically what you think about the use of glasses, immersive glasses, whether they be VR or MR. How do you foresee that changing commerce and ultimately payments?
You know, firstly, this is fascinating. We have been toying with an idea of how you can do streaming commerce, how you can do commerce when some program is happening on television. You like the dress that the character is wearing, and you want to buy that. How do I do it, etc. I thought when I saw the demos for Vision Pro of Apple, the demo videos, I haven't demoed the item, but the videos, I said, wow, this could possibly disrupt the television industry big time. Because if I have that, I don't know why I need a television anymore. Right? Number one. Number two, and what we talked about, the example of I look at the dress of an individual, I just press one button and say, hey, buy me that. The purchase can happen. That's very exciting. That's a direct impact to commerce, and I see that happening as a distinct possibility. Second, other industries which can get disrupted. Many times, say, recently, I was there in Cambodia, and we were having a tour of Angkor Wat and all that stuff. And the guide who was there was trying to tell us about a whole bunch of things and all that. And when I asked some follow-up questions, he was not aware of the answers. That's okay. Now, if I have this Vision Pro glass, which is very mobile, I go there, I don't need a guide anymore, I just tell me where I am. It knows what I'm seeing. It tells me, and I have tons of follow-up and useless questions. It patiently keeps answering everything to my heart's content, which is fabulous, right? Or navigation in a completely different way. I'm walking and I say, hey, I need to go to the nearest such and such a shop. I want to Starbucks and get something. Where is it? Lead me to it. You can just take me there. I don't even need to look at my phone or anything else. So I can also order it in advance. Okay, we tap on it and say, order for me this particular thing. And it gets it. So I think there are possibilities for commerce are unlimited. That's my read.
Obviously, you've been coming to CS for many years, like myself, and you see these trends. A couple of years ago, we saw this blockchain trend. You referenced it, I think, because it is the time now, certainly the payments. What's your perspective on as the moment of blockchain arrived?
See, I think, first and foremost, blockchain has got a tremendous potential, incredible potential, right? Whether it is for provenance. So I need to know the watch that I bought or the bag that I have. Is genuinely the branded item or is it faked? We go to many countries, even in a retail shop that is named after that company, there are fake goods which are sold. If somebody can give me a guarantee that this is the real one, that's a big valuation for the consumers. Plus, it's a big commercial gain for manufacturers of genuine products because their sale is not lost to these knockoffs. Blockchain can play a very profound role in this, and I know experiments are happening. The second part, if you look at the advertising value chain today, there's a lot of opacity. And there have been accusations of kickbacks. And the US Department of Justice has been investigating those since 2016 or 17, I can't remember the year. Right? And if you have smart contracts and you have got blockchain deployment appropriately, you can disintermediate a lot of players who are currently getting almost 60% of the total advertising dollars. So if I'm spending $100, $60 are going to the intermediaries, $40 are going to the publisher. But if somebody can come and tell me, Raja, we can double the amount of space that you can buy for the same amount of dollars, I said, I'll show you the solution. Blockchain could be a very effective ingredient for that solution, right? I think there's a lot of promise to blockchain. By its very nature, blockchain is very complex. It's very difficult for a normal human being to easily grasp it and comprehend it. Most of the marketing folks have actually come from the right side brain thinking. Right brain thinking, which is their qualitative, they're creative, they're intuitive, they understand psychology. When it comes to understanding something like blockchain, I can't get it. Right? And the result of which, they don't think of doing it. But I think this is where the opportunity comes in. If a few big brands collectively get together, like in a few years back, I think they tried to do between IBM and Unilever and MediaOcean at a point in time, right? There was that whole blockchain experiment. If you see the actual statistics, they showed and demonstrated to the savings. In a time when if my CFO comes to me and says, Raja, we need 5% cut in your budget, I go ballistic. Here, I'm telling you, you can get at least 30-40% savings. Why am I not getting excited? It's not because I don't want to, but because most of the marketers do not have an understanding. The opportunity for blockchain, as I see it, is number one, we have to simplify the story, the narrative, such that an ordinary, non-quantitative, non-technical marketer gets to understand it. Number two, a few companies or consortium has to come together and say, let's take this and do it for the benefit of everyone. Now, I know I'm a part of ANA. They're doing some stuff, and I head up their data and technology task force. We are trying to do it. It's like pulling teeth out of people to come and participate in it. Because it goes so much over their heads, they say, I don't want to be there. And nobody wants to admit ignorance. So we need to start educating people. What exactly is a blockchain? What does it do? And how can you benefit? I think there is a lot of opportunity for that. And I think if a few companies or a company can take lead on it, put together a coalition and do it, it would be a gigantic win for the whole industry. That's what I would say.
Looks like we're all good. Raja, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.